Presenting to you
the interactive space for critical and objective open thinking.
Floating in Space with Martian UFO. Produced by Martian UFO Media. The best podcast on air with your hearty host. Catch episodes weekly on Apple and Spotify podcasts.
Hello, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a good day, man. You know, it's a bit of a cloudier day today. A little bit of a light drizzle that we're having. I know that some people here in Medicine Hat, they might be affected by that seasonal, I don't want to call it like seasonal depression, but you know, when the sun's not really out, our energy is low, so try and keep your energy up today. It's currently, it's still July 7th, 2020, 3:11 p.m. And I remember yesterday I was talking about, I used an example of the smoking issue about how they added these new changes to the carton of smokes, and which now it's all brown packaging and plain lettering on the top, making it look pretty plain, I guess, for the sense that they don't want children to think that it's appealing and things like this, younger kids. And so now, you know, I was looking into it a little bit more, looking into it during the nighttime, and I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Unsmoke 2035. You may not have heard about it, but you may or may not be a cigarette smoker. And if you have heard about it, then you know that the whole goal, the main idea of Unsmoke 2035 is to end basically smoking by the year 2035 in its entirety. No more cigarettes. They're gonna just go to vaping, e-juices, all this kind of stuff. And right now, the company that's kind of spearheading that movement is I think they're called Rothmans, Benson and Hedges, which owns I think one of the biggest cigarette manufacturers in Canada, or they are one of the biggest manufacturers in Canada. And so first, to start, like, you got to think about why they even want to do this, why they're looking at this, because their whole, if you can go to the website, it's unsmoke.ca, and they'll have their I don't want to call it a slogan, but their whole initiative, their goal, it says, if you don't smoke, don't start. And if you do smoke, either quit or change. And I thought about that phrase in the sense that the last part of it, when they say change, I think change, they certainly mean that change is inevitably coming, right? If you're a smoker, either before or by 2035, you're not going to see cigarettes in the convenience store anymore. Either they're going to have you switched over to vape if you really like that, or it's a coming change in which they're forcing it on people. They're forcing it on new cigarette smokers who are used to smoking cigarettes now. And I just wonder what the reaction is going to be, right? How are people going to respond to this? Because this really represents like a bigger issue about new change. Like, let's talk about why. Like, let's spearhead some of the facts. I guess I'm bringing you real information, guys, not just talking about no bullshit and things like this. Rothmans, Benson and Hedges, they own a product called IQOS. I guess IQOS is it's one of the it's the leading heated tobacco product owned by them for Canada, and this is basically going to be the number one item, or the big player in vapes, I guess. And so now he's saying, this dude, his name's Peter Luongo. Peter Luongo is the managing director of Rothmans. He says it's the largest produced risk product for vaping in the world. And, they're about to take a large, I don't know if you guys that vape, if you guys already know about IQOS, if you guys use these products. I don't really know anything about vaping or smoking cigarettes for that matter. He says that the FDA and the US just approved it for sale in the United States, and that basically all across North America, in the coming years, you're going to see this IQOS product, you're going to see more vaping products, and kind of the decreasing of cigarettes. And I just saw a nice little lightning bolt. That's why I'm out here. I like to come out in the rain, just watch the rain and relax in this weather. I don't know, sometimes it scares people. Some people might not like it. I love the thunder. I love the lightning. I think it's exhilarating, Peter Luongo also says that the FDA believes, they're putting this out on the market because definitively, this is his words. He said that they believe having it on the market will be a benefit to public health. And if you guys know anything about vaping or about smoking, I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. There's people dying from vaping. I don't know if dying from the vapes and the vape juice specifically, or if people were trying to use marijuana juice and put it in there, and then people were dying from that. But it's not like either of them is good for you. And saying that it's going to be a benefit to public health, what is that? Like, this dude's obviously lying. And let me just look up into some more information that I found for you guys now, because I actually saw the ad on Snapchat. I'm sure most of you guys see it. It says that we are a tobacco company. We want cigarettes gone before 2035. Why does the biggest manufacturer of cigarettes in Canada that produces cigarettes want cigarettes gone? Because their parent company has the biggest stock. They hold stock in the vape industry, in the vaping market. So whether they think that they're going to be looking out for people's health or not, this is purely, I think, for sure, purely a financial choice. Peter Luongo, the people who are at the top of this company, they're doing it for financial gain. Because I watched an interview that he did. I think I was on Bloomsburg, the website, BNN, something like that, watching an interview that he did. And he was talking about the whole idea, the whole goal. Basically, let me not get lost. Let me, 1 second. He was talking about change in its construct, in the sense of when you see a new change coming, in the sense that, right now in the world, what's the big movement? We're supposed to be heading into the future. Everything is supposed to be about the future. And so he says that when you see these changes happen, when you can see these changes happening beforehand, it's better to, as a company, I guess in his mind, as the leading company, to get in front of the change and in fact lead the change. So when I say that this is a change that they're bringing, not bringing by consent, they're not asking people, he's saying don't, if you don't smoke, don't start. If you do smoke, change or quit, or, figure it out, because this is going to be your only choice. It's change. This change is coming. And they're giving you, they're probably saying 2035 to give enough people to kind of get okay with that idea in their minds, because that's going to affect a lot of people. You take out smoking, for them it's a money play. For a lot of people, they might be thinking, we're going to be saving people money. You're not going to have those people that go out to the store and buy the whole packs and cartons of cigarettes anymore. And then I don't know, you're going to have suddenly a bunch of people that start buying vapes and the juice and things like this. And is it really better for you, right? That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm thinking. And yeah, so here it says, interview with BNN and Bloomsburg's Amanda Lang. And this was at the start of July. He said that the FDA and the US approved this already at the start of July. So throughout the month of July, you're probably going to see, different things with the smoking, different changes again, maybe certain companies that aren't being offered anymore. And if you go to this unsmoke.ca, the website, it shows, they got all the facts with how smoking is addictive, how many, let's go look, let me just read off some facts for you. For you guys that don't know, and I guess you might even be just pissed off that I'm telling you this, because if you like smoking, then you don't want to hear like, fuck that, we can't smoke in a couple of years. There's no smokes to even buy. You better fucking hoard them all now. You know what I'm saying? Go out, if you really like them, go out and buy fucking 10 packs a day and keep them all locked in your closet, in your room or something, because you're not going to see them again in a couple of years. So here it says in big, bold, black fucking letters, and they fucking highlight the don't, the start, the quit, and the change. They say if you don't smoke, don't start. If you smoke, quit. If you don't quit, change. They got a picture of some lady hugging her grandfather, trying to make people feel bad and things like this. But so you go down the facts. The average daily smoker in Canada will smoke about 13 cigarettes per day. And I believe this. I think it's probably fucking more. Being at the site with some of these guys, Oh, sorry, man. I didn't even realize, like, the podcast, it stopped recording halfway through, and I didn't realize. And I was sitting here basically talking to myself. Fucked up, but because I have such a precarious mind as I do, I'm gonna go back and I guess get back to the point at which I was, and try and read off the facts. So I remember what I was saying before the video cut out, saying that there are a cigarette smoker averages about 13 cigarettes a day, for sure. That's believable. That's definitely believable. I believe that, and I believe I was saying that the number is probably more, right? Let's go back. Let me get to the website. I'm sorry. Sorry. Like I said, it's a process. It's my third episode. Wow. All right. So yeah, the average daily smoker in Canada will smoke about 13 cigarettes per day. And what I was saying before the video cut out, I was saying that I believe this because I observe the guys that I work with, the two and specifically, right? And I'm gonna have to fucking light some of this up to get some of the same jazz that I had again. But I was saying, I see this, and the guy in the crew that smokes the most, he never has his own cigarettes, right? Smokes the most, but never has his own cigarettes. He's the dude that's smoking 2 in a row and whatever, and he's pulling them out of other people's packs, you know what I'm saying? And the guy, so I would call him the aggressor, whatever. The other guy, he's always giving away his smokes. He smokes just as much as the other dude does, but he's giving away his smokes to this guy. And I said before, I was saying, oh, well, I mean, in my estimation, I think he's a soft guy. I don't think he really, like, wants to say nothing. And I'm sorry, if I'm being rude or if I'm just calling it like it is and is, but I think that's what it is, and a lot of the times he'll come around and be like, like, toss the smoke, kind of like, no, please, no, thank you, no politeness of any kind. I mean, these are men, right? So it is what it is, but, give me a fucking smoke, all this kind of stuff. And he's soft, so he tosses them smokes over. And at the end of the day, he's looking at his pack. He's like, oh, fuck, I gotta buy another pack. And I'm like, well, you wonder why, man. Like, anyways, 1 second. So let me recap on that. You got the dude in the crew who smokes the most. Smokes 2 at a time. On break, on lunch, during work, doesn't matter. He gets them from the softer guy who also smokes 2 in a row, 1 in a row, whatever. And I mean, of course, when they're done, they take their butt and they throw it on the ground. And I'm like, you know, we got the issue of cigarette butts are the number one most littered product in the country. You know, there are nearly 5 million daily cigarette smokers in Canada. I said that, you know, that's not like a huge number for maybe the 35 million that we have in the country now. So it is what it is, but it's still kind of, you know, a big number. Cigarettes contain over 4,000 chemicals, and at least 70 of them are known to be cancer-causing. You know, we've known that for a while. I said that, you know, it didn't stop. You know, if anything, then the amount of cigarette smokers has increased since then, since we've known these facts. You know, secondhand cigarette smoke causes 800 deaths in Canada each year. And, you know, my only response to that was, I don't want to be one of those 800. Like, I see myself, and here I am, I got to stand like 10 meters away from the truck. You know, I feel like an idiot because these dudes are smoking, and I don't want to tell them, like, man, like, I don't breathe in cigarette smoke, bro. You know, I can't. You know, people come in my car asking me, can I smoke and this and that? I'm thinking, it's only in Medicine Hat, we're going for a drive to wherever, and it takes less than 20 minutes. You know, we're not in Calgary, where you're not going to have a smoke for an hour or things like this. And, Jesus, like, you know, the toxins from secondhand smoke can linger in rooms long after someone has smoked. You got acetone, formaldehyde, ammonia, lead, nicotine, naphthalene, butane, and arsenic, carbon monoxide, probably more, tons. You know, why would, you know, if you know that these are bad for you, why would you even accept having them in your body anyway? And then I took a second to stop and talk about the weed thing, right? Because people might look at it and be like, well, you know, you smoke weed, all this kind of stuff. And the analogy that I had was like, you could compare, because I smoke by bong only, so I sit here, you know, I'll have one bowl, as many bowls as I want, whatever. And when I'm smoking, it's not like the same as smoking a cigarette, because when you smoke a cigarette, if you were gonna compare smoking a cigarette to weed smoking the way that I do it, you would have to smoke the cigarette the whole time, suck on it, and not let it go, basically, like suck the whole time and just take your hit and not be standing there, because the amount of waste that you let the secondhand smoke's blowing everywhere when you're not smoking it. I see some people sometimes, the cigarette is burning down and they maybe not taking, 20 puffs. I'm like, you really, I see these packs cost anywhere from $15 to $20 now. You buy this pack, you take out your smokes, you smoke, and you're not even getting most of what you paid for, you know what I'm saying? And me, the difference in the smoking weed, right? Like, they could say about me, they could say, oh, stoner, you smoke weed all day and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, no, if I wake and bake, sometimes, rarely do I wake and bake now with this damn job. Like, get up in the morning and I gotta start work at 7, right? If I smoked weed that morning, I won't smoke again till maybe 6, 7 p.m. when I'm coming back into the city. And that's the comparison. That's what I'm saying. And I've calculated for myself. I know what it is. I know what my habit is, what my vice. I know how much it costs me. It costs me around $300 to $350 anywhere in a month to smoke my weed, do my thing, because I've calculated now that I need 2 ounces in a month for it not to run out, and all that. I got about 2 ounces each month. A cigarette smoker sometimes might not even know where their budget is for smoking, how many smokes they're smoking, how much it's costing them. They don't write it down. I'm not trying to say definitively. This is all just my opinion. It's speculative, things like this. But if anybody was trying to compare and say that, oh, well, you waste so much money on weed, I don't really think I do. I can afford it, obviously, right? Like, but the cigarette smoking, this is a problem. I don't know if Rothman's feels like maybe in a way they're trying to help people save some money. If you convert to vaping and not buying cigarettes anymore because there are no cigarettes, maybe you'll just stock up. You'll have one vape pen, you'll buy all your juices, and then when your vape pen fucking craps out when the coil burns and all that kind of shit. You go buy another vape pen. So I can see it being more affordable. Certainly, some people say that they switch to the vaping, they don't like it, it's not the same. Well, in a couple years, you won't have the choice. Like it's forced change, not change by consent, basically. Yeah, let me read this again. Cigarettes are the most littered object in Canada. The most littered. How often do you see a cigarette smoker get a ticket for litter, for throwing his butt on the ground and just walking away? Because you know that, any of you criminal justice kids, you know that littering is a crime now. It's not an indictable crime, but it's a crime. For sure, you can get a ticket. And they're the most common litterers, I think, who don't get punished for it with and how can you really police, how does anybody think that you're going to police this problem and try and give all the people that smoke cigarettes tickets because they're littering, but nobody knows that cigarettes are the most littered object in Canada? You know, we're worrying about the environment and we got an environmental issue and people littering and all this kind of stuff, but it's cigarettes. You know, and again, another fact that I put up, smoking cigarettes leads to the emissions of 2.6 million tons of CO2 into the atmosphere. And, you know, I'm really like kind of pissed that this fucking video cut out before because I was saying some good shit. Anyways, what I said was, think about this concept. Think about the comparison of, they were talking about CO2 being a problem about 10 years ago. And they were like, oh, there's a hole in the ozone layer and all this kind of stuff. And it's because of CO2. If smoking cigarettes leads to the emission of 2.6 million tons, and then you got the comparison of, and I don't know what the number is, but think about the comparison. Think about if we're the problem or smoking's the problem, because human beings, we emit CO2 in the breath when we breathe out. It's inevitable, right? You think about the exchange and the oxygen that we're breathing and things like that. We breathe out CO2. And so, all the humans on the earth, all of that, just by breathing, are we putting too much CO2 into the atmosphere, right? Or the numbers. So they're looking at the environmental, you got the UN that's trying to fulfill their sustainable development goals. They probably look at smoking as one of the issues. And if the earth is dying, then a lot of changes, yes, are coming by force, not coming by consent. And smoking is, they're looking at it, they're trying to stop it. Maybe it's a CO2 problem. Rothmans, again, like I say, they're purely in it for the money. It's financial. Because I was saying that whoever does the numbers for them up there, they're analysts, people that run their financials are probably looking at projections for and running up until 2035, right, for how best to make money. And they probably saw that they were going to make more money in that time switching the market to vaping rather than sticking with cigarettes. Cigarettes, in a sense, are outdated. If you think about, we're trying to move into the future, we're trying to be futuristic now, well then you got to get rid of cigarettes, right? Cigarettes are outdated. They probably cost too much to make, to manufacture, to ship, the products that you need, because when you think about a vape pen, these materials are easy to get, cheap to stock for these companies. And then the chemicals, these are chemicals that they make. You make these chemicals in a lab, artificial nicotine and whatever. Like, it's not hard for them to package this all together cheaply than it is for them to get a cigarette to you in a convenience store, which you can buy. I'm sure that they looked at these numbers and why would any company decide to do something if it's not going to cost them less money and it's going to net them more money in the future, right? Like, for every 300 cigarettes produced, one tree will be cut down. And then I was speaking to the tree huggers, all you environmentalists, you tree lovers, all this kind of stuff. You love the trees, you love to knock people for shopping and for wasting paper and all this kind of stuff, for not recycling. But then some of you are smokers. Some of the people that would be mad about the end of smoking, about not being able to buy cigarettes, I don't like vaping, all this kind of stuff. You would call yourself an environmentalist, yet you don't want to put down your cigarettes. What does that say? Like, you know what I mean? Do you hate forests? Do you hate trees? I don't think so. but it's because it's not going to be like, there's going to be a resistance, right? Like, you think about me talking about this now, there are people getting pissed off even thinking about these things, like ending cigarettes. Fuck no. You know, I'm a smoke my shit. Like, that's why I said before, if you like it, you better stock up for that time. You better be thinking about the changes that are coming in the future, how they're going to impact and affect your life. If you think you're comfortable now in a certain way and how you're living your life, think about what isn't going to be around anymore. You know what I'm saying? And in relation to anything, smokes is a big thing for a lot of people. I think the number, they probably got more than 5 million people that smoke. I know a lot of people that smoke, even in this city. Almost everyone I know smokes, you know, or wants to get into smoking or whatever. You know, they say 1.7 million tons of cigarette butts are thrown away annually. Probably more. Because these numbers are they change every single day, all the time. You know, current alternatives studies show that motivation and willingness are key to quitting. Well, I think some of you are going to need more than that. You know, the best choice any smoker can make for themselves and their loved ones is to quit cigarettes and nicotine altogether. But if you're not going to do it for yourself or your family or the environment, I mean, do it because you don't want to have to deal with the fact, you know, later on, the regret that you didn't listen and the government came down and Rothmans and all these companies came down and said smokes are gone. You know, now vaping is the way. If you don't vape, then I guess you don't get your nicotine, you know. And I guess that's really where the issue is. I'm going to be following it for sure. I don't smoke. I'm not a smoker. But I think it's just interesting, right, that all these different things are happening now. You know, you never had such an initiative on so many different, what do I want to call it, like habits of life or certain things that people are used to their smoking, used to, you know, I was talking about the people that like their Pornhub and all this kind of stuff. And they're trying to go after all of it, right? Changes, quick changes, forced changes. You know, the topic of my next video, you guys are gonna, I mean, for people that might be studying this and looking into how this is gonna change the landscape of life, right? Of human identity and things like that. Like, these are big issues, big topics, you know? And yeah, man, I think that's where I'm going to leave it for a large part of that video. I guess it was good that it wasn't playing because the rain was pouring at that point, and you probably wouldn't have heard me. We still got some nice thunder, a little bit of lightning out here. I just hope that everyone's having a good day. You know, if you're thinking about smoking, maybe think ahead. You know, this is something that a girl told me one day. She said that sometimes she thinks that I'm living too much in the future, that I think too much ahead. I can't be in the moment, you know. And I thought about it, and I'm thinking that it's probably a better thing, right? Or maybe think about this. It's probably good to have a little bit of paranoia about the things that the government is doing, or what these certain companies want, how they want to see society being ran one day. I mean, you can call it conspiracy theory, all this kind of stuff, but people never thought that cigarettes were going to be brown packaging, all the same lettering, and all the changes that were going to come. And it's happening. It's happening now. It's been happening. And yeah, we're going to see where it goes.